Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman, and come on to do another video on Job. And this is Job's protest in chapter 3. And this is a part of Job where he's not so patient. And as in other areas, this is where he curses his fate or the day that he was born, and kind of shakes his fist at his existence. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through this using Poe's translation out of the Anchor Bible commentary, and we're going to look at some commentary on that, some references to the Euripides text on the birth of dawn and dusk, and some other things. I'll try not to get too sidetracked because I get talking about this literature, and a lot of comparisons end up coming into my mind from other things that I've read. So I'll try not to bounce around too much. But also what I'm going to read is the same kind of protest and the same kind of getting upset with a person's existence out of the Euripides play Iphigenia, probably from around 412 BCE. So, getting back to Job's protest, here Poe in chapter 3 breaks it up because he thinks verse 16 should come after verse 11, which would make it read better. These Bible scholars have a lot of hypothesis going on, and it does make it read fairly smooth. So what we're going to do is read 1 to 11, then verse 16, then verses 12 to 15, then verses 17 to 26. And I want to back up and read Job 2:13 because this is a beautiful text, and it kind of runs right into 3. And if you had scrolls, it wouldn't be broken up into chapters. You would read right from 2:13 right into Job 3:1. And this is beautiful how they do the 7 days of grief and grieving. So they sat down with him upon the ground 7 days and 7 nights, and none spake a word unto him, for they saw that his grief was very great. And then that's beautiful. They're there with him, and they're going through the grief customs of that time period, and also being with the person 7 days. Then we get into Job's protest, 1 to 11, and after this Job opened his mouth and cursed his day. If it wasn't connected to the day in verse 3, you could put fate in there. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed his fate or day. Job spoke out and said, "Damn the day I was born, the night that said a boy is begot." So here, as you'll see in the text of Iphigenia, the difference of the day of being born is also the night of conception. Two different things. Let that day, let it be darkness. God above ignore it. No light break upon it. Darkness and gloom claim it. Clouds settle over it. Eclipse terrify it. Here eclipse, or the bitterness of the day, is seen in ancient Eastern literature. Here, just to give a little bit of commentary on that, the birth of the beautiful, gracious gods. I've read that on camera before. It's a text out of the Ugaritic text, the Canaanite literature, on 2 boys being born by dawn and dusk, or the 2 boys, and the daughters of El mate with him. So that text right there, kind of like a text out of Song of Solomon, ends up being kind of like the Song of Solomon. Very erotic, but this is probably one of the only creation stories that I know of out of the Canaanite literature. Very beautiful. If you get a chance to read that. Also, on the eclipse, like the bitterness of the day, the term is found also, he says here, in 32, Deuteronomy 32:24. It's applied to a pestilence, but this is where the sun's blocked and the eclipse. Verse 6, that night gloom seize it, include it not in the days of the year, in the roll of the months let it not enter, yea, that night be sterile, let no joyful sound come in it, let the sea cursers damn it, those skilled to stir the Levantine. This is the sea monster. In Canaanite, it'd be Yam, the sea. Let those sea cursers damn it. So paid magicians and soothsayers who did that as a job and put curses for good or for bad. Let those damn the day. But in Jeremiah, what's interesting, he sees it as futile to cursed days that are already gone past. So you can read in Jeremiah, I'll try to find that, where he curses the day. I think it was, okay, Jeremiah 20:14-18. Its twilight stars be darkened, let it seek light in vain, nor see the eyes of dawn, since it closed not the womb's doors, to hide trouble from my eyes. Why did I not die at birth, emerge from the womb, and expire? Here it says, why was I not aborted? Like a stillbirth would I were hidden, like babes that never saw light. Why did knees receive me, or breasts give me suck? For now I would be lying quiet, I would be asleep and at rest. So this is a view of death. With kings and counselors of the earth who built themselves ruins, or with princesses who had gold, who filled their houses with silver. There were knaves, cease strife, where the weary ones are at rest, where the prisoners take ease together, heedless of the slave driver's shout. Small and great alike are there, and slave is free from master. Why gives he light to the wretched, life to the bitter soul, who yearn in vain for death, seek it like a treasure trove, glad to get to the grave, happy to find the tomb? To a man whose way is hidden, whom God has fenced about, instead of my food come sighs, groans are poured me as water. What I most feared has befallen me, what I dreaded has overtaken me. I have no rest, no quiet, no repose, but continual agony. So here he gives a beautiful description of the underworld, the underlife, and death as being the equalizer. Beautiful indeed. So let's look at the Greek. This is the lament of Iphigenia, who was whisked away to the temple of Artemis, and at the Agamemnon was about to sacrifice her. This is Euripides' twisting of the story, because in the Iliad, she was in fact sacrificed to get Artemis to blow the winds to take the Greek fleet to Troy. However, this is pretty interesting. Later, they've seen human sacrifice as detestable. Iphigenia is switched out by a goat at the last minute, and she's whisked away to the temple of Artemis, and there she serves as a priestess. Interestingly enough, serving up human sacrifice of strangers that come through. Here she laments her fate. O bitter my beginning in the womb of her who bore me, from the very night when she conceived, appointed by the fates to suffer in this world. I was a child accursed, yet how she cherished me, her firstborn, and thrilled that I, of all girls of Argos, should be a bride upon the way to Troy. What had she borne me for, and loved me for? to be destroyed by my own father's hand, to come behind the horses of delight, not to Achilles, but to grief and honor and horror. And now besides this melancholy sea, I live my days lonely, no love, no friends, wife of no man, and mother of no child. I know no home. You can read the rest of that in the Euripides play Iphigenia in Tauris. There you have it, friends. Something to think about, and that's been rolling around my head for a little while. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Take care, and remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.